the speakerphone is Ralph Ramirez. Ralph?
Yes, this is Ralph Ramirez.
And Ralph was one of the founders. Would you like to just give a quick little bio of your position in the organization?
Along with David Sanchez and Richard Adams and some other students at Roosevelt High School, we formed the Young Citizens for Community Action, which later became Young Chicanos for Community Action, and which later became the Brown Berets. And of that group, I was the original Minister of Discipline.
Great. Okay. We move the microphone now to my right. And you are?
Jerónimo Blanco.
And what was your position and part in the Brown Berets?
I rose from soldado in the Brown Berets to the position of National Commander.
Okay, and to your right?
My name is Luis Rodriguez. I came up in the ranks as 13th Officer of Communications of Brown Berets, an organizer.
And to David's left?
My name is Frank Reyes Norwood, and I've been active for the past 4 years and still try to do something for our community, our people.
Okay.
This is Ralph Ramirez speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, we're talking about early in mid-1967. We were more interested in becoming part of the established political system. So we were involved in things like assisting the United Farm Workers and helping Dr. Nava become the first Chicano to get elected to the Los Angeles Unified School District board. But as the more we participated in things like this, the more resistance that we would get from the LAPD and the LA County Sheriff's Department. And that is what caused us to take a more militant stance to work outside of the system instead of inside the system, because we saw that working inside the system wasn't getting anything done.
David, what were you looking for? You gave a lot of yourself to the start of this organization. Please.
Well, I think just having a vision that perhaps La Raza, it could be strong. We saw that trying to assimilate into the system was not working for us because we were not being accepted into the system. As a matter of fact, we were the unaccepted class at that time, and we still are. Nonetheless, we felt that something had to be done more. We had to rise the stakes, and that's why we started the Brown Berets, because we felt the Brown Berets would be the ideal psychological ploy to bring attention to the problems of the Mexican American community.
What did you see as the main social actions that you needed to take back when you were in the coffee house phase? Were you all in the coffee house as well?
Not I.
No.
Well, the coffee house was being harassed by the sheriffs, and they would close. They'd come in at 10 o'clock, and anybody that was under 18 years old, they'd come into the coffee house and they'd take our youth away and give them tickets for curfew and take them to the police station. So we started picketing the police station because they were harassing our coffee house.
And when you had the coffee house, what were you going to try to achieve by having an open door coffee house? What was the goal of the coffee house?
Well, I think the main goal was to give youth a place where they feel comfortable, a place where they can hang out, somewhere where they can socialize away from the gangs and away from the violence, kind of a home for the young people.
So it was really a social service program, and in that way combating some of the worst elements of East Los Angeles, which was gang violence.
Gang violence, drugs, and alcohol.
Mm-hmm. And the coffee...
And also...
Yes?
And also, this is Ralph Ramirez. If
was one of the objectives, because I seem to recall it, also to reduce the interracial gang violence?
Yes, that was also part of it.
At that time in Los Angeles, 1967, had there been a large spurt in black on brown violence?
Yeah, there were a number of wars going on between black and brown community. For example, Ramona Gardens, there was a war going on there with the black and brown people. And the Brown Berets were the first ones to go out there and stop the violence between the black and brown community in Ramona Gardens.
That's a remarkable achievement, and I don't hear much about it. Tell us more about that, and tell us more about what kinds of things you did in the coffee house to try to bring people together. Because I recall from my own experience there that there were times that you had, I think, Stokely Carmichael speak, and times that you had H. Rap Brown speak. Tell us about that. What was the purpose of these speakers, and who was the audience, and what did you see yourself trying to do?
I think just learn. We were all very young at the time, and we all wanted to learn about what everybody had to say, so we can compare notes and kind of draw our own destiny as far as where our community can go or where our community should go for its survival. Because this has been one of the biggest issues in our community: is survival. The high dropout rate then, the high unemployment rate then, the discrimination, job discrimination in all the job markets. So it was almost impossible for La Raza to get ahead during those times. And things have changed a little bit.
How about the rest of you? Do you have any ideas about that? Would you like to join the conversation on that issue?
I think it was a pretty good idea what we did. It helped a lot of Raza out, a lot of people. And people understand what we're about when we went to communities and talked about the violence. And it proved a lot of points there where people stopped joining the gang and going into Brown Berets.
Really? And they joined the Brown Berets. How did they, what were they looking for in joining the Brown Berets? What were these young people looking for?
Some were looking for identity, who they were, what they're about, and stuff like that.
Let me first of all say that I did not join the Brown Berets in LA. I joined the Brown Berets in San Diego. I was 17 years old at that time, as a senior in high school. I saw the tremendous discrimination that as people of Mexican descent we were facing on a daily basis. Racism, discrimination had been institutionalized. It had become a part of the educational and the United States government system towards us. I saw that something needed to be done, but I didn't know what.
Did you have some model for yourself? Did you have some hero figure? Did any of you have model or hero figures that you could follow, that gave you an idea of what you could become? Because you became a model figure for a lot of young people. Where did you get the idea? How did it come into your head that you could do and be more than what the society was pushing and telling you that you couldn't be?
I think it was a lot of things. I think one of the reasons, a lot of us were college students at the time, and we were trying to expand our awareness, taking classes in the colleges and universities, as well as looking for information, looking for a way out of the way things were in our community. And it was kind of a search for a way to create power for the community, and the Brown Berets was the fastest way to create that power.
Well, you yourself, David, had received, I think, an award from the mayor of Los Angeles for your youth work. That was before La Piranha Coffee House.
Right.
And you must have had some idea of yourself as wanting, as somebody who could rise above the degradation that Mexican Americans were being imposed on. I mean, they were being imposed a kind of degradation from the larger society. What gave you the idea that you could do it? We've heard here, you got the idea that it had to be done and you were going to do it.
Well, I think that we all joined together and had the same ideology in the sense that we all realized that education wasn't being provided for us, and in the past 40 years we're still in the same. Now the illegal immigrants are considered the modern slaves. They're deporting families, they're separating families actually. Children are left behind born in the United States. The young lady that was arrested last Sunday, they criticized her because she didn't take her son. How are you going to take your children to a foreign country that they don't know or understand because their culture is not being educated for? Not only that, how can you take them when you don't have a home, you don't have any place to go except the church or people that come out and assist people like the lady that was deported?
Well, that actually brings me to the next question. You've all alluded to having issues about the educational system. And what made you focus on